Okay. So, chat. I have been spending a lot of time on Instagram. I know it might be a problem, but it's not really. There's no reason that is a problem because I'm only spending like 6-7 hours a day. There's at least 4 more hours in a day after that. While I'm on Instagram. Okay, so while I'm on Instagram, you're watching the reels and you're seeing it's mainly curated by sounds and music. That's how every shorts platform really is. Unless you can break out and become a very good artist or creator, a lot of shorts are just playing off trends. Even the big creators, they usually don't even use their voice. They usually are lip syncing or dubbing over, putting a new twist on a trend. And one of those trends is trend sounds that I've been hearing a lot recently, and it's a really good song. I really like it. Is no wind resistance.
In this magical world.
This is the wrong one. Shoot. This is what
I've been here 60 years and I'm still not bored. There's absolutely nothing that I can't afford. And I found that almost everything is made of cardboard. And there's
Okay. So that one right there. That one line. What the heck is on my... Oh my goodness. My depth perception is terrible. Okay, so that one line right there is very, very, put it bluntly, nihilistic. Because of how, material things are just like, eh. But more in depth, that one is trending a lot because that's how a lot of people feel now. That's how a lot of people feel. And it's how our society kind of views life now, as you want to reach something, be materialistic, but at the same time, there's nothing to really care about. There's nothing to work for. Especially if for a lot of people that have money, that they can have stuff when they're young. They're not going to work for anything. And that is causing a big problem of, well, maybe not right now, but we've started seeing uptick in, unemployment and people not wanting to work because there's no need to, because they can just get handouts every day, all day. And in that, this song just sparked in it because, as you may know, I'm a Christian, and as a Christian, I read my Bible a lot. And in reading my Bible a lot, this verse right here echoes very closely to a book of the Bible. A book of the Bible that is the most nihilistic book of the Bible. And that is because of how this material world is and how it's going to fade away. Now, a little background on Kinneret. She's a Jewish playwright, or songwriter, not playwright. I don't necessarily know what her personal stances are, but I'm gonna let her speak and talk about that specific verse before I go into more in depth about what I was saying.
Time and money are unimportant. When I wrote this song, I was 16, not 60, but who cares? And I found that almost everything is made of cardboard. This line is a direct shout out to my grandpa, who makes incredible cardboard sculptures. His name is James Grashow. Whenever I visit his studio, I feel like I'm Alice in Wonderland, and my point here is that life can feel the same way. There's also a double meaning with this line, which is that all of our material items that we practically worship, our Prada, our B.B. Simmons, Simon.
I've never heard of B.B. Simmons. No clue what that is. I have heard of Prada. It's a disease of the foot, right? Like athlete's foot?
Or whatever. They're all just toys. They're fun, but they're arts and crafts that other humans have put together, and we can collect them, we can trade them, but they don't make us any more important than someone else. They just don't.
She explains that there, and her view is a little bit different than mine, so, but that's fine, because that it doesn't matter, because it's music. It can be interpreted however you want it to be interpreted, and that's where I'm going in and talking about the most nihilistic book of the Bible. Ecclesiastes, if you are unaware, was written by Solomon, basically during his reign over Israel. He was the king right after David. If you remember David is the David of David and Goliath story. That's probably who you'd hear it from if you aren't already a Christian and or Jew. Section I want to focus on right here is the emptiness of possessions. And I mean, there are plenty of other ones, but specifically the emptiness of possessions. So right here we have in chapter 2, verse 4, I increased my achievements. I built houses and planted vineyards for myself. I made gardens and parks for myself and planted every kind of fruit tree in them. I constructed reservoirs of water for myself from which to irrigate a grove of flourishing trees. I acquired male and female servants and had slaves who were born in my house. I also owned many herds of cattle and flocks, more than all who were before me in Jerusalem. I also amassed silver and gold for myself, and the treasure of kings and provinces. I gathered male and female singers, ironic, for myself, and many concubines, the delights of men. I wonder what he's talking about there. So I became great and surpassed all who were before me in Jerusalem. My wisdom also remained with me. All that my eyes desired, I did not deny them. I did not refuse myself any pleasure, for I took pleasure in all my struggles. This was my reward for all my struggles. When I considered all that I accomplished and what I labored to achieve, I found everything to be futile and pursuit of the wind. There was nothing to be gained under the sun. That passage right there, she didn't specifically say it, but it's a direct parallel of this book. And I'm guessing because she was raised Jewish and is still Jewish, but I don't know exactly what her beliefs are. I can't say. But because of that, it's ingrained in her at some point that this helped formulate. I'm just taking a guess here, but it seems to me that she was influenced by these few verses here, because that's how material things are viewed. Because that is what life is ultimately going to lead. If you search after material and physical things, if you seek to have the best singers, to have the best music, to produce fruit, to produce physical quantities of anything, to have physicality, you are going to ultimately be futile. And this guy was top of the world at the time. At the time of his writing this, he was like the number one goat that was alive. And he is empty. But he's a king that had everything. He achieved it, though some of it was passed down from his father and God. He sought after and grasped it all, yet he still found it all to be futile. And that is what my main meaning of this, or my main point of this. This is what my main point of this is, that in life now, we feel just as futile, or we have the same amount of futility and wind, because we don't have anything higher to look for. I live in a very blessed place. I don't have everything for me, but I don't need to worry about a lot. And in that, I can pursue what I want. And that is what this is talking about. We often think that poor people are worse off because they have less. But what this passage in the Bible is talking about, and what I have come to understand, is that while we may have more physically, they have more spiritually. And that's why it's important for each and every one of us to be able to seek after a higher purpose, to seek after a higher calling. For me, that is Jesus. For you, I pray that is also Jesus. But I can't dictate that. That is a choice for you to make, and for you to seek after God yourself. I am only here to influence you in that. But in that, I wish to influence you and show you that. And show you, at least to first, that you need to have God. And Needing God is something that will help fulfill that futility. I can speak English sometimes. Because it's all going to be for naught. Once we die, we're dead. Our bodies eventually turn to dust. We're not going to be able to take any of the things we collected here. The things in my room right now, the things you can see behind me, the lamps, the posters, the bags, the headphone case, all of this stuff here will eventually turn to dust. It may stay a while. It may outlast me. Or it could all just burn down tomorrow. My point is that having a lot of things will not give you meaning, and I pray that that is the message you get out of this, and that you need to have something more in your life than just material. I've been here 60 years, and I'm still not bored. There's absolutely nothing that I can't afford. And I found that almost everything is made of cardboard. And there's absolutely nothing I can't sing with weird chords. 60 years. Still not bored. Yeah, there's plenty more to experience in life. But there's absolutely nothing that I can't afford. And everything is made of cardboard. That is what is my biggest takeaway from this song, is that, yeah, the nihilism is real because we don't have any higher faith in our normal everyday lives. Christians even too. We still stay focused on the material. We still stay focused on the physical, like what we can see with our eyes. Like, oh, okay, so that person is more successful. Oh, that person is better off. But it's all through the filter of internet. It's all through the social medias that we have here, bro? Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitch. I almost forgot that one, even though I'm live right now on twitch.tv. But we gotta remember that having the material and having the physical around us is not as important as being in tune with the spiritual. Having the spiritual is the important thing in life. And that's why so many people are we are inherently physical creatures, but we have that yearning for the spirit, and that's why so many people are yearning for it, because it's innately in us. But people will choose different things. Christ, Allah, Buddha, the Hindi gods, Vinishi, I think is her name. Yahweh. Sixth. I don't actually know if that's really... I don't think that's a religion in America, but I think it's still pretty big over in the Middle East. But there are all these different patterns and religious orders that we want to connect to, because that is inherently how we believe in something beyond just this material world. We can think that that we don't need it, but we do, because if not, you're going to ultimately end up futile, meaningless, having nihilism and being nihilistic.